Hello, friends. I am Tom Downey. That is Mitchell Renz. The Giants have officially made the move to fire Pat Shurmur. Maybe not a huge surprise, rather expected. So let's take a look at some of the top replacements for Pat Shurmur, fired just after 2 years. Mitch, you and I are both in agreement this was the right move for the Giants, right?
Right choice. Pat Shurmur knew it was coming. He was asked, this is a wins business. I get it. And after 9-23, I'm not good at math, but that doesn't seem like he's winning many football games. So, Tom, we compiled a list here at Chat Sports of the top candidates that the Giants could hire, and number 11 on our list is a big-time name.
Nick Saban. I don't think this happens, but I do think you're going to see this rumor pop up from somebody because it happened last time around. Heck, Bruce Arians said Nick Saban wants the Giants job, and Saban and Arians are fairly close. And if you're going to leave Alabama for Nick Saban, maybe this is the year you do it. I mean, I don't think it happens.
Alabama's a better job.
I just want to acknowledge this, okay?
Alabama is a better job than, I'll say, 90% of the NFL gigs.
Fair. I also think a lot of those top-tier college jobs are better because your job security is way higher.
Yep.
Like, Nick Saban could not win a game next year, and he'd be like, okay, it's fine. I could come back again next season. It's fine.
I'm going to make a lot of money. I think the only job Nick Saban would actually give it up for is, I'd honestly say the Cowboys. I mean, I think that's probably the biggest job in all of sports.
I don't know if Saban's going to come back to the NFL, frankly. It also didn't work.
All right, so here's the question we'll ask. Will Nick Saban coach in the NFL again?
I think no.
I don't think so either. I think you got to be crazy to give up what you got in Alabama
he's 68,
right now.
Too. Like he's getting up there.
Wow.
I think Saban's next move is to retire or go do TV somewhere and just like make an extra $1 million a year for doing.
Right now the comments are being flooded with no's for Saban. I think we can all agree that Saban should probably stay at Alabama. Let's go now to number 10 coach on our list of Giants head coach candidates. We got Josh McDaniels.
He interviewed for the Giants job the last time it came open. Now, the Browns and Panthers have already expressed interest. I feel pretty confident saying that the Giants will also expand and try and look into McDaniels again here. I also wonder if maybe the Giants want to go with a different direction overall because they just tried the offensive coordinator who was a head coach that failed in Pat Shurmur.
Yep.
Now, I think McDaniels is a better coach than Pat Shurmur, but also, does he want to go to the Giants job?
I would.
Now, maybe the Giants fire Dave Gettleman. We'll see what happens there. As of right now, no decision's been made. But if they fire Dave Gettleman, maybe McDaniels can bring in a guy he works closer with. Maybe that makes more sense then.
I mean, I'll be honest. If I'm in the interview process for the New York Giants, I say the only way I'm coming is if you get rid of Gettleman because I think he's the worst GM in all of the NFL. Well, fingers crossed. And also, fingers crossed, you guys take advantage of this deal we got going on right now at BetDSI, chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code NFL120 for 120% deposit bonus. A lot of times people are like, Mitch, what does that mean? What does it mean? If you put down $50, you get $60 for free. You put down $100, you get $120 for free. You can actually also put down $500, get $600 for free. BetDSI is the internet's #1 sportsbook. Take advantage of this deal. Let's go now to my man, David Shaw, a name that we talked a lot about, I thought, last year. So I'm curious, we're talking about him again.
Yeah, he's always had the NFL's always kind of had their eye on David Shaw. The Giants have expressed interest in the past. You know, there's been NFL interest from a variety of teams, and Shaw's always said no, although Shaw has now missed the bowl game for his first time in his tenure at Stanford, and maybe he's a little bit more amenable to, okay, God, things didn't go that well. Maybe now I'll take the jump to the NFL kind of while I still can. Also, just one little side note here, speaking of college coaches, we are due for a Brian Kelly to the Giants rumor. That has zero credence, but will be used to get Brian Kelly another new contract with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So watch out for that.
Our production team back there, they really like that one time.
I'm right.
Watch. Right. I also really like these sunglasses on John DeFilippo. Wow, this guy's looking smooth. Number 8 to replace Pat Shurmur.
Guy, Mitch. His stock has been all over the place. It was actually doing pretty well with the Browns. Goes to the Eagles. It hits its high. He takes the Vikings offensive coordinator job, and it's like, okay, he's taking this job so he can get a new head coaching gig. And then it did not go well. The Vikings fired him, and now he's in Jacksonville. I think he's done a decent job.
With what he's had.
Like, the receiving core is okay. The offensive line's not great. You've shuffled quarterbacks a bunch this year. Again, I think he might end up being a little bit too similar to Pat Shurmur, but I think there will be some interesting guys like a John DeFilippo We'll talk more about other offensive coordinators, Brian Daboll, for example. I think that kind of fits that mold. Maybe a super deep dark horse, Mike McDaniel, the Niners run game coordinator, too.
I mean, next guy on our list, number 7, I don't know if he wants to play linebacker for the Giants or coach them. We got Dan Campbell. This is a big dude.
Hey, he played for the Giants from 1999 to 2000.
Looks like he could play for the Giants now.
Yeah, he still is in fantastic shape. He's been a head coach before, technically, in interim with the Dolphins. He went 5-7. The biggest red flag here for Campbell, even though he's the assistant head coach right now for the Saints, he has not been a offensive coordinator. He's not a play caller, so he's not a scheme guy. Now, maybe the Giants feel they want some culture changes here. That makes sense for Campbell. Like, that type of CEO type of head coach is what he ends up being.
And I think if you're Dan Campbell, you walk into that room, you look at Mara dead in the eyes and say, you get rid of Gettleman. And if you don't, Dan Campbell could do it. So we want to get your guys' votes. We got over 200 people watching us live right now on YouTube, and we definitely appreciate that. Make sure you guys continue to interact with us. I see John in the comments for no for Campbell, no for DeFilippo. Well, maybe you like some of our other top coordinators. So how about this? Type in your votes here. Is hiring a non-coordinator too risky? We want you to type Y for yes, type N for no. So either somebody that's a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. Dan Campbell's the example there where he's the tight ends coach.
It is certainly a risk. I think of the guys out there, Campbell's probably the one I have the most interest in. But if you're hiring a non-coordinator, you like someone with experience, but also how do you get the experience if you're non-coordinator? Like, it's kind of that circular logic there. So for the Giants, I think they can find somebody else. Maybe other franchise makes a little bit more sense, but I think for New York, it is too
Angel
risky
Smith says yes. Stephanie says no. Terrence Williams says no. Cooper Lewis says yes. And Ohio Boy 2020 also says no. Keep getting your votes in. Y for yes or N for no. Let's crack open this six-pack now of our top Giants head coach candidates to replace Pat Shurmur since he's been fired. Mike McCarthy. I don't know if I like this one, Tom. I'm not a Mike McCarthy
I
guy.
know, and I understand that. I think that is reasonable. I think a team hires Mike McCarthy this time around. Maybe it's the Browns or the Panthers instead. I don't think the Giants go this route, but I think it's still worth discussing and at least considering it. Look, the end tenure for Green Bay McCarthy, it wasn't great, right?
No.
I mean, the offense had become very stagnant. But at least with what McCarthy's saying, he's saying all the right things about, hey, no, I've looked around the NFL. I've changed. I'm willing to use more analytics. We'll see if he's being honest or is just saying those things to the media to help out his case.
See, Mike McCarthy got bailed out by having Aaron Rodgers in basically his prime. It was just like, all right, Aaron, whatever you want to do. If he runs that offense with the Giants players and personnel that they have, it's not going to be successful whatsoever. Now, a special shout-out to today's sponsor, BetDSI. I know a lot of people, if this is the first time watching, you've never heard of BetDSI, then you don't know the amazing offer that we have. When you go to chatsports.com/bet, you're going to get a 120% deposit bonus when you use promo code NFL120. So if you like betting on NFL games, NBA, heck, MLB, you can literally bet on anything at BetDSI. Cricket, for goodness sakes. BetDSI has literally everything.
I have no idea how that works.
I don't think anybody knows how cricket works. I think they just go out there and they use this wooden plank to hit a ball, and they have a good old time. Either way, I have a good time betting on games, playoffs. NFL 120, 120% deposit bonus. All right, let's go to Brian Daboll.
I think this is one of the top under-the-radar head coaching candidates. The job that he's done in Buffalo with Josh Allen, I think it's been super impressive. Now, Allen has his flaws. He still does for sure. But I think Daboll gets a lot of credit for the job he's done in helping that Bills offense be productive. Now, of course, the defense carries that team, but the offense has done everything they can. And if you want to go with the coaching tree route, he is a disciple of not just Bill Belichick, also Nick Saban. He's coached under both of those guys, so resume-wise, I think it's pretty impressive. Under the radar name, you got to build around Daniel Jones. I'd be kind of excited to see what he could do.
See, I feel like Giants fans, though, Tom, their issue is they want turnaround so quick. They're trying to build Rome in a year. Maybe you go out and get Greg Roman, our number 4 coach here.
It's Rome in a day. You botched it.
I didn't.
You were trying to be all cute, and then you can't even get the saying right.
No, it's build Rome in a day.
Yeah, and you said year.
Well, you got to build it in a year.
See, I can't. It doesn't work there. Anyway, as we mentioned, this hire is all about Daniel Jones, right? you have got to find a way to maximize your first-round pick. He's your guy, all right? Whether or not Gettleman stays, if I have to guess, maybe he does stay for a year, maybe 2, but we'll see what happens on that front. I think it's still kind of up in the air. But for the Giants, Roman fits that. And Daniel Jones can move. He's a pretty damn good athletic quarterback. We know the job that Greg Roman did with Lamar Jackson, maximizing his talents. I think he could do the same with Daniel Jones. He's done it with Tyrod Taylor and Colin Kaepernick, too.
I mean, we're looking at 2, I think, though, totally different quarterbacks.
Yes,
I think,
Lamar's such a better player.
I think you can't really compare Lamar Jackson to, I think, almost anybody in the NFL because he's unlike anything we've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, as great as what Michael Vick was at creating havoc with his legs, Lamar Jackson's a way better runner than Michael Vick ever was. So maybe we can get a little bit more out of Daniel Jones. Either way, though, the Giants, they got to figure out if spending that number 6 overall pick on him was absolutely worth it. Let's go now to number 3, Eric Bieniemy, another very, very popular choice on a lot of our coaching candidate shows.
Chiefs OC right now, he doesn't call the plays, what we kind of mentioned, Brian Daboll's coaching tree with Belichick and Saban. The Andy Reid coaching tree tends to work out pretty well. Now, maybe the Giants don't want to go that route because it has tried one in Pat Shurmur, and that was a pretty big disaster here. But Bieniemy's going to get a lot of interviews. And if only, unfortunately, just to satisfy the
Rooney Rule.
Exactly, because you have to interview a minority candidate. Bieniemy's going to have interest again this year. Maybe he knocks some out during the Chiefs' bye week in week 1 of the NFL playoffs. If the Giants really want to go back to the offensive, which I think makes sense for them, I think Bieniemy would be a good decision. Okay. I think they could do a lot worse, but I think teams like the Panthers also going to have a lot of interest here.
The next name on our list. This is where it gets fun. He's also moved up. I think the first time we made this list, he was 5?
I don't remember what he was at.
Well, now he's number 2.
He makes sense for the Giants, though. Look, I get it. I know this is a very unsexy sell. It is a clapping hire. Who's better, Pat Shurmur or Jason Garrett? There's a clear answer here. Don't me.
I guess Jason Garrett.
It's Jason Garrett by far. Look, Jason Garrett deserves to be fired by the Dallas Cowboys.
Triple X goes, bruh.
He will be invited not to return, I promise you. But Garrett and the Giants have done that flirting thing before. He played for the Giants. And look, there are a lot of worse options out there, if we're being quite honest. Look, in a league that hired Pat Shurmur, hired Freddie Kitchens, hired a fired college head coach, is keeping Adam Gase, do a lot worse than Jason Garrett there. I know it's not sexy. It's a fallback option. But it's an upgrade.
So somebody goes, hey, geniuses, Garrett's not getting fired. His contract is expiring.
Read between the damn lines, dude. Like, come on. Like, this is the equivalent of saying that you didn't get kicked out of the party. You were invited to leave. Read between the lines, guys. It's a firing.
Has that happened?
No, it hasn't. I'm thinking of a TV show, actually. But, it's not. You're right. You're right. It's not technically a firing. But what is so hard to understand about it is in reality a firing because they're not bringing him back.
Fair.
All you've done is you're not saving money. All
right.
It's the same thing.
So who should be the Giants' top target? Now, we're about to release our number 1 candidate.
I saw the number 1 guy in the comments earlier, by the way.
Yeah?
So some people have already gotten this right.
So who should be the Giants' top target? We want you to throw it in the comments section. Terrence Williams says Garrett is perfect for the Giants. Tony as Cowboys head coach. Okay. Garrett stays. Prescott needs to go. Wow. Okay. Who should be the Giants' top target? Get those comments. Continue to flow in. Our number 1 candidate is Matt Rhule.
It is Matt Rhule. Now, there's been some conflicting reports on Matt Rhule's level of interest in interviewing for the NFL, but he's done it like 2 straight years. He's going to interview. And the Giants are a spot that make a ton of sense for him. And this, I think, is the job that makes perfect sense for Matt Rhule. Kind of grew up around the New York, New Jersey area there. He spent 2 years as a Giants assistant coach, and he interviewed for this job last time around. The Jets probably would have hired him if one of them was willing to budge on I want to bring in my coaching staff. So if the Giants say, yes, you can bring in the coaches you want, like Todd Monken was one of the OCs Matt Rhule wanted there, I think this deal does get done. I think Matt Rhule is a perfect fit for the Giants. I think it'd be a really good hire. This is the route I'm going with New York. that's my first call once you figure out what you're doing officially with Dave Gettleman.
I mean, I'm not going to compare the New York Giants to what Baylor has been able to overcome. But if you're looking at an organization that needs a little bit of an overhaul, if you're
culture builder.
A culture builder, I think, is a great term for that. I mean, that's what the New York Giants need. You're getting rid of so many of your key players. I mean, you can say what you want about Odell Beckham Jr. He's a diva, but getting rid of a player like that, I think, actually hurt this offense. Now, they still have some talented pieces, but you got to be able to figure out what you got in Saquon Barkley, and you got to figure out what the heck you got going on with that defense in general. Here's Matt Rhule's career at Baylor. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you guys do. It's youtube.com/ChatSportsTV.